Well, Kyriss brought the old Monterey in today. This is a, we're hoping about a 1945 Harmony Monterey. Pretty cool guitar. We're just gonna take a look at it, see what we can do to make it play as good as it can possibly play. Right now, it would be a beautiful slide guitar. I think Greg Allman would have a fun time with this, with a slide. We're going to set it up so that Mr. Kyriss can play it as good as he can play it. And we will see what we can do. So I'm really grateful to see this guitar in as good a shape as it's in. The wood's really beautiful. It's a looks like a piece of Brazilian rosewood on the fingerboard, and a piece of spruce on the top, I think. Hoping maybe Engelmann spruce, maybe. We don't know yet. Haven't gotten that far. Maple neck, pretty beautiful piece of wood. Back is in really good shape. Beautiful finish on this. So we're gonna get started. Taking a look at this thing. And what a beautiful guitar. Neat old piece of music, piece of history here. So we'll take it all apart and put it back together again. Probably won't do too much to it. It doesn't need much. The neck looks like it's in pretty good shape as far as the relief in this thing. You can take a look down there. Try and give you a good shot. It's in pretty good shape. So there's that. Not much to say, except Monterey. I love it. It's in real good shape. It looks like it's pretty clean, and it's been polished up and has, I think, the original finish on this as far as the shine and stuff goes on this thing. So we're gonna take it apart and put it back together. And I joke. So, on the Harmony Monterey, what we're going to start off with, I'm going to pull the strings off this guitar. The frets are in pretty good shape, but I am going to do a polish up to 2000 grit with, I'm going to start with 6, 15, then 2000, graduating up, and I'm going to take care of that today, or maybe tomorrow. And then where I'm really going to start is this saddle, to get the saddle piece. We have really tall string action here and no truss rod, so the neck relief is actually really nice on this guitar without a truss rod being in it. So I can't make any adjustments to the relief in the neck, but it's looking really good. There are, you can see on this side of this saddle, right there, that saddle is lifted off the top of the guitar. So we're going to put a piece of sandpaper on the top and sand that down until it's making contact. And also that's going to lower the action a little bit. And then we'll see what kind of adjustments we can make to this saddle to get the string action down to where the gentleman who owns this guitar likes it. And he basically told me to just set it up to a status that if it were my guitar, I would enjoy playing it, which is how I treat every guitar, but he was very specific. So we're going to use the same 11 gauge strings with the wound G string. These are 12s that are on this now. We're going to put a lighter gauge string on here for him, get this saddle all worked out, removing a little bit of material off the bottom of this and possibly this to drop that down and make it adjustable. So here we are midstream on the Monterey, and we've pulled the machine heads off of here. We're going to do a little bit of touch-up work on some of the dings in the paint, and we are currently working on the saddle. And what we do is we put a piece of sandpaper on here. This is like 200 grit or maybe 100 grit, I think. I can't remember what I used, but something nice and rough so I can knock a lot of material off there quickly. What this allows me to do is sand the base of the saddle to the shape of the contour of the guitar. It's a raised top. A little curvature. And then that saddle wasn't making contact fully, so I've got plenty of room to remove enough material to do that. So this is how we tackle that project. Something I'd like to add to the story of working on this Harmony Monterey. This is a Brazilian rosewood piece of wood, and when you sand it, it smells divine. I hate removing a vintage piece of material or any material off of a vintage guitar, but this needed it, so we're going that step. But man, it's awesome to work on because it really smells good. I wish they made a cologne that smelled like this. Back with the Monterey from Harmony, and I have cleaned up the fretboard and it looks really beautiful, but I've got this one block fret marker that's lifting up. So I don't want to pop it all the way out, so I've just inserted a knife in there. I'm going to put a drop of super glue down underneath that and get that to hold down. The rest of them seem to be holding, but that one was definitely pulling up. Getting a good look at the actual original color of this guitar, where the tailpiece was blocking sunlight from fading the wood. Really cool to see that. You see a little bit more of it up in this area. Clean the fretboard, and it is super dry. I don't think this thing's been treated with oil, wow, a long time. So this one's going to get a good oil treatment, and we'll go from there. And I've pulled the pick guard. I have this beautiful little piece of felt holding it up right here, so kind of a cool little brace to lift that pick guard up off the top of the guitar, and that'll give me a chance to really clean this thing throughout thoroughly. And I have oiled and serviced the machine heads. He was complaining, and they were creaking and twisting and making a little bit of noise and just weren't really doing a great job. The guitar does not have ferrules for these machine heads. I'm almost certain that it never did. There aren't any markings here that indicate that it would have had ferrules in there. So we're going to leave that in its natural state. I'm going to finish gluing down this fret marker and gonna do a polish job on these frets, and you'll notice they're kind of a gold color. They're brass, I'm guessing, and I've cleaned the neck. As you can see, it's no longer shiny and reflective. It's real flat and dull and light colored. It's amazing how much stuff was on the neck. That's all probably 50 years of poop. Going to do a polish on these frets, kind of give you an idea of what they look like now. And I did polish a little bit on this first fret. You can see how much shinier that is versus one down here lower on the fretboard. And that was just 600 grit sandpaper that I hit these with. These are brass frets, so they're real soft and they should come out really shiny. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot a little video after each pass. This first two frets I have hit with 1500, and beyond that down the fretboard this is 600, and this is what they look like at that level. I'll back off a little bit here, get nice and clear. So again, that's 600 grit, and these first two have been hit with some 1500. So not much difference, but you can see that every step of the way they do get a little bit brighter and clearer and smoother. And I'll finish up with 2000, but I'll hit them with 1500 and shoot that. So here's some video of a pass of 1500. Haven't hit any of them with 2000 yet, but they really come back to life. Look beautiful. So some 2000 grit, and then a pass with some Never Dull. I'll probably, this little dark space right here, I'm going to hit that again with some cleaner. See if I can't get rid of that. Just some more poop that I didn't get with the toothbrush. Harmony Monterey is done. You can see we've got some room to adjust the action now. Our string height here at the 12th fret is right here, 5/64 on our low E and 4/64 on our high E, right here at the 12th. So the guitar is intonated really pretty perfectly. For a saddle like this to be this well intonated is pretty weird. So they did my compliments on the construction, Harmony. We replaced the machine heads with just took them out and oiled them, and now they're turning real easily and they look great. So that's that. I've got a few fingerprints on there I need to get rid of, but clean this guitar up completely. Look at that. Just a beautiful guitar. I have a couple of things I have left to do on this, and that is to touch up a couple of these little dings, and I'm going to get some black color and put it in there, and on the back of the guitar right here next to the saddle button, or the strap button, we're going to fill that with some black color too. So we will get it finished up and back to the owner here shortly. He's going to be happy. Look at those frets. Aren't they beautiful? This thing is polished up, and a lot of nicotine, I think, on the outside, on the finish on this thing. There were just tiny little spots all over this thing. It almost looks like it got splattered with something. I don't know. I'm assuming it was nicotine damage, and there were some drips and stuff that were coming down. It almost looked like some coffee or something. I don't know. But we got all that cleaned up. What I'm going to do now is use good old-fashioned black fingernail polish to do some touch-up repair to the cosmetics on this guitar. Just not to make them perfect, but to try and divert your eyes from being drawn right to that spot on the guitar. You know, it's not an absolute necessary thing to do. The owner of this guitar is he's a construction worker, and he's a tough old son of a gun. He's not that old. But anyhow, he doesn't want this thing perfect. The guitar is actually in really good shape. So there's a few spots on the guitar that I'm going to touch up, and down here by the button, and we're going to try and make that stuff look a little less noticeable. We're not going to try and make it perfect. Thing is looking great. It sounds great. Everybody here at the shop wants to take it home. So really proud of this one. Beautiful guitar. Well, you saw the dings on the back. I'm going to take some polish to that. That's all covered, and there was a ding right here in the body. Now your eyes aren't quite so drawn to that. And a spot on the back of the guitar that we've touched with just a little bit of black fingernail polish. This damage up here on the headstock was such that I can't match that color well enough to risk putting polish in there and having it look worse. So I think we're going to leave that be and let it just be a part of the age of this guitar. Let the guitar rest. So this thing is about done. I am going to put a little bit more polish on this back end of this, on this polish. I'm waiting for this to dry a little bit more down here, but you can see that all the wood coloration is, your eyes aren't drawn to that damage down there. So I'm thinking we're about done with the old Harmony Monterey. Really cool guitar. I love this logo on here. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, very cool logo. And this gentleman is going to love this guitar. So we're all done. Have a great day. Play your guitar lots. Work your calluses in. Peace.